So after one hell of a career, after a huge absence away from the WWE, not WCW, Sting will take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, WWE announced this today via a press release, WWE.com, and the breaking news alerts that they do send out, and he will be the first inductee in. Now, I know the first people's reactions is, man, I would love to see a Taker versus Sting match, which I absolutely would. Sting getting hurt, though, with his Seth Rollins match, I think is going to put a damper on that, but I think this is a match that could definitely save Mania. If for any reason Sting was able to go, I think this would be one of the big matches that would intrigue people. Hell, maybe even a double retirement match. Shout out to James Vanderbeek on Twitter for that one. They wrestle, and then they both call it quits and then end their legendary careers. Now, Sting is one of those guys, and I know there's some kids, especially my audience, that don't really respect Sting because his accomplishments weren't in the WWE. They were in WCW, NWA, and other promotions. And my simple response to that is shut the hell up. I'm sorry. Sting is a legend in our business. And I know it's true. Some people, he took over, he wasn't willing to come to WWE, he just abandoned everybody. And then he, stayed away from wrestling or went to Impact and did his thing. But as a fan, man, he held out and he did what, he wanted to do. And finally he comes back to the WWE. And when he came back to the WWE, I was pumped, man. The match that he had with Triple H at Mania, I thought there was no way that Triple H would just fully on bury him. And guess what? He did. And then Sting eventually comes back and challenges Seth Rollins for the title. And I thought, they put on a good match. I know that the injury kind of happened earlier on, and they kind of altered plans as Sting kind of knew something was wrong. But when it comes down to it, Sting is only wrestled twice in the WWE, but that's not a problem. There's no way that somebody should think because they haven't been in the WWE ring more, they shouldn't be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And from what I've seen on Twitter or social media, there's been an outpouring, and I absolutely agree. Sting is a guy that should have been in the Hall of Fame probably a long time ago. Once they finally mended everything that happened and, he came back to the WWE, it was only a matter of time. And now, especially with this year's WrestleMania, I don't know if it was always the plan for him to go in, but I'm definitely glad that he is going in, because if you look back, now I'm not going to remember every single little thing because, I was a kid. I remember watching Sting. I remember watching him go up against the Outsiders. I remember him trying to go up against the NWO. He was that only holdout too, until eventually the booking was just stupid and he gave up. But he's kind of been the long holdout. And, I still remember, watching that face paint and the bat. And I remember having a bat as a kid, because when I was a kid, there's a couple wrestlers I really kind of imitated. Like a little later on, early 2000s, I was into Rob Van Dam and doing the frog splash. 99, 98, I was into the rock bottom. But the Sting baseball bat, I used to have this Nerf baseball bat. It was black. And it wasn't black. I taped it up with black electrical tape. Or did I do that? I don't remember. I remember being a big fan of Sting. And, yeah, I think I did. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure I did wrap a bat like that. 100%. I know I did. It was a little Nerf bat because we used to keep it in our back shed, and I still remember it to this day. And, when you think about the memories of Sting, I think a lot of people nowadays, if you just now got into wrestling, I know some people had watched him on Impact, and he's just a t-shirt wrestler now, and that's all he's good for, and they were just kind of crapping on him for that, and I kind of was too. I was like, okay, if Sting comes to the WWE, what is he going to be, wrestling in a t-shirt? Does it really matter? He is the icon. He is the legend Sting. And the fact that he's finally taking his place in the WWE Hall of Fame only makes sense. So now it'll be interesting to see the supporting cast around him. And like I said, man, I would still love to see this match with him being injured or surgery and everything else that's going on. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it definitely should happen. And I think this would be a match that the fans would clamor for. But, I mean, there's still other matches I would love to see Taker do. But this is the one that's been decades in the making, that has been the holdout. So if it doesn't happen this year, I definitely hope it happens next year, and I hope we get to see. I mean, I would love to see Taker stay around. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Sting stay around. I still want them to eventually let the new talent usher in, but WrestleMania is still Taker, and I still love to see Taker. So seeing Sting get inducted this year, especially with him not being able to wrestle, I think, is going to be a little hard because last year when the NWO came out and, D-Generation X came out and I was live in attendance for that, man, I popped so hard. And this is a wrestler, both of those guys, Triple H and Sting, were part-timers. They only wrestled, once a year at that point, maybe twice. And, people were like, oh, what's this match going to do? And then it shook the house because of the past. And I think that's where they can really capitalize on it. And I would love to see Sting take on a good role in the company. I definitely think Sting could be like a commissioner or something, man. I think Sting has got more to do in this company. I think the injuries are kind of hurting him now, but everything that he's accomplished, I hope there's more to Sting. I definitely hope when it comes to Sting getting inducted, this kind of leads to bigger and better things. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to lead to more in-ring wrestling or maybe it shouldn't. But the possibility of this match is decades in the making, is something that I would love to see. And I'm glad for Sting. I mean, when I look back and, think WCW and Nitro and, there's a couple big names that are kind of synonymous with it. But for the most part, if I could think of one, it would be Sting. So that's kind of my thoughts on that, guys. I want to let you know. I want you guys to let me know what you guys think of this. Are you in the camp of you think it's awesome that Sting's in there? If you're not in the camp that Sting's awesome, you just, I don't know why, and I don't really know how to respond to you, but just let me know what you guys think. Should it have happened a long time ago, or are you glad that he at least had that match in the WWE? He had his WrestleMania match, and then it made sense for him to go in, because I think that's a good thing, man. I think the fact that he finally had his WWE match before he just gets inducted in without, being a presence in the WWE is a good thing. Whether he gets screwed like something like this where he puts a hand on the rope, I don't know. But let me know in the comment section below. Sting going into the Hall of Fame. Good, bad. Who would you want to see him wrestle for a last match? Would it be Taker? Let me know. Until next time, we will see you all later.